today it's just me, Tracy, and I want to say thank you for supporting my channeling and supporting this channel on YouTube. And thank you so much for the light that you bring into the universe to each and every one of you that resonate with the channeling that I do with my beautiful sister Anya. For those of you that have found the inner earth within your heart and released the programming of what we've been taught about the earth and understand what it's really like, I'm very, very grateful for each and every one of you. And today I thought I would do a part 2 of Twin Sisters. Part 1, Anya got to share her story and her experience, and she did mention that perhaps I could share mine. So today I thought I would share my little story about how I made my connection with Anya, or actually how she found me and made the connection with me. So about 4.5 years ago, I received a galactic activation. I had came home from work early. I was still working in the Matrix, and my energy was being drained on a regular basis, as that is how the Matrix works. I hadn't relieved myself from the Matrix just yet. And I decided to take a nap in my bed in the middle of the afternoon. It was very sunny that day and very beautiful. And during my nap, I woke up. I was lucid dreaming, or in that phase of where you're asleep but you're also waking up, but you're very cognitive and aware of everything that's going on. So I woke up and I had this beautiful galactic experience where these gold rings of light, just perfect circular rings, came up from the ground where my bed was and came up through my feet and all the way up my body to the top of my head. So as if my body was laying inside these golden rings of light. I was being surrounded by these rings. And it started at my feet and the rings worked their way slowly up to the top of my head. And as each ring went up my body, I felt the most amazing, pleasurable experience. It was only as I can describe it as pure bliss of the body. It was a feeling of complete healing, as if all of the tension and soreness in your body and muscles is just completely gone and relieved. It was the most amazing experience that I've ever had. And I'm not sure how long it lasted because it was just an experience and a moment in time. But I did have the understanding during this that my physical body was being changed and my DNA was being changed. And all of the pain and tension that I had had from so many years of working in the Matrix just literally dissolved and disappeared during that moment. It was absolutely amazing and astounding in the most beautiful way. And a little bit after that, I'm not sure the exact amount of time because I just flow with my life. But shortly after that, I started receiving visions, and I started having these very, very intense dreams about a mountain. And in one of the dreams, I was entering this mountain, going inside a portal, just going straight into the mountain with a male figure, with a male human. I didn't know who it was at the time, but later I came to find out that it was my son, who is a young adult. And so after multiple of these dreams, I did some research online and discovered that this mountain that I was dreaming of was Mount Shasta in California, which, as we all know, is a very magically active destination for galactic family. But at the time, I didn't know that. So one summer, just a few months later, me and my son spontaneously decided to go on a camping trip and discover what this Mount Shasta was all about. And luckily, we live close enough that we were able to drive there within a few days. So we went there for 3 or 4 days and we camped on public land. in the middle of the forest. We were car camping and staying in the car and just having the time of our life. And one morning I woke up right as the sun was rising. It was so beautiful. And there was a beautiful woman, a female being, a humanoid figure, we'll say, standing right next to my car window. Right there. And remember, we were in the middle of the forest where hardly any people around. And this woman was holding a little finger piano. And she was just standing there. She had no hair on her body whatsoever. And she was wearing a white cloth, almost like a sheet, but it was definitely a dress, but just a white cloth. That was it. Playing this little finger piano, staring right into the sun as the sun was rising. And she was playing these particular tones, ding, 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 right next to my car. Of course, I was like, what the heck is this? And so just mesmerized by her beauty and how she was almost glowing in the beauty of the sunrise coming off the mountain. It was absolutely beautiful. And after a few moments of her standing right next to me, she just walked away and disappeared. And I almost wondered if she was actually there or not because it was so magical. But later that morning, whenever I got up to make breakfast, I saw her footprints in the loose dirt there on the mountain. So I knew she was actually there and I wasn't dreaming. So then I had a wonderful experience camping on Mount Shasta. There was a day that me and my son went out for a little bit of a hike. And we just completely lost track of time. We weren't sure what happened. We went out for a hike and we came back and sat down in our camping chairs. And I checked the time and it was already time for me to start fixing dinner before the sun rose. And we had to get ready for bed again. And we were both really distraught. We didn't know why. The whole day had gone by. The entire day had gone by and we had only walked around for a little bit. So we were both very, very confused that day. But since you watched Anya's twin sister video first, now you know what happened that day, which I later learned about many, many months later. So fast forward a little bit more. After we came back home from the trip from Mount Shasta, I started seeing a beautiful blue woman in my shower while I was showering. I know it's very funny and like weird to imagine that, but I would be showering and every time I would shower and open my eyes, I would see the image of this beautiful blue woman standing right in front of me in the shower, and she was very happy and peaceful, and I knew that she was trying to communicate with me, but I couldn't hear her. I could only see her while I was showering, which we now know is because of the power of water. Water is very, very, very magnetic and carries lots of electrical currents, so it was really easy for Anya to try to show herself to me and project her image to me while I was in the shower in all of the water. So at that point, I understood that there was definitely a galactic being that was trying to get in touch with me. And I started almost being able to hear her voice during my meditations talking to me and wanting to make this connection. And the desire became so strong and overwhelming that I decided to seek out another person that could possibly help me understand what was going on. And through divine intervention and many synchronicities, I found a wonderful woman that is also a channeler that lived in a close area to where I lived, and I went to her YouTube channel and watched basically all of her videos, and she also went live a few times, so I was able to have some live conversation with her. and she channels an Arcturian named Daniel, and through divine synchronicity, her name is also Tracy. Isn't it great how this stuff works out? It's so fantastic. So come to find out, she offered activation sessions, and so I scheduled a session with her and had no idea what to expect. I absolutely had no clue. And the session was several hours long. You go into this deep meditation time with her, and she channels her Arcturian counterpart, Daniel, along with other beings. And it was an amazing experience where I got to learn a lot about my life, my past lives. I was able to release a lot of karma that had been passed down from my family for many, many generations, and do a lot of healing during that session. But the great thing about it was that I had set the intention ahead of time to learn who this blue woman was that I was seeing in the shower, and how all of this journey for myself was connected together. And right during the time that I was thinking about asking who this woman was, who this galactic being was that was trying to contact me, she popped right into our session with Tracy and Tracy. And it was such a beautiful experience. She came in to the room from the side, and she came in toning. And so as the other Tracy was channeling Daniel and he was talking to me, Daniel just stopped, and all of a sudden Anya was there. And she started toning the same tones that the lady on Mount Shasta, the being that I saw next to my car that was playing the finger piano, it was the exact same tones. And she said, "Do you recognize my name? Do you recognize my tones?" It's very emotional for me because it is such a deep connection that I have with her, and it was a very beautiful experience. I won't go into all the details of everything that we talked about during the session, but I did actually get to finally have this formal introduction of Anya and who she was. I discovered that she told me she was called Anshar, and she was from a group of advanced humans that live inside the inner earth. And at the time, I didn't know what the inner earth was. I was programmed in my mind, just as we all are, that the earth is just a giant rock floating around the sun, and I thought, this is all crazy. But it resonated so deeply within the core of my being and who I am that I knew that it was completely true. And I know that you all understand that as you feel the resonance within your heart whenever you listen to her messages and the messages that I'm able to channel from the Anshar. So that was how I was able to formally meet her. And after that, it's pretty much the rest is history, right? I moved forward with my meditations and knew that I was destined to channel her, that it was a divine connection, that she is considered my galactic counterpart, and that most of us do have galactic counterparts. We all have galactic family that watch out for us every day, but a lot of us have galactic counterparts with which are another being that shares the same energy frequency as you do. So I say connect with them in your meditations. Find your galactic counterpart. Find your galactic family, because they are there. They're with us every day. Angels and Arcturians and Anshar and Pleiadians and Lyrans and Syrians and Andromedans and all of them that I can't even name. We all have them, and they are with us. So set the intention in your meditation to connect with them and see what magical experiences you can have too. I have had such amazing meditations with Anya, and at first, whenever I was introduced to her, I would see images of the inner earth. I could see images of the Anshar city. I could see the dinosaurs and all of that, and I could see her, but I didn't see her face for a really long period of time, and that really bothered me. I thought, how is it that I'm going to channel this beautiful Anshar woman, but I can't see her face? And come to find out, I needed to raise my vibration and continue my inner work and my self-work to become more of a sovereign being of light, so that I could align my vibration with hers, so that I can bring forth the channeled messages to all of you. So eventually, after a few months of lots of meditation and meeting Anya on the astral, I am fully able to see her completely now. And she has explained to me that we are twin sisters. And even though my ego brain doesn't completely logically understand how that's possible, it is absolutely possible. And she does look like me. We are very similar. We have a very similar face and hair and body style, except that because she is an advanced human living in the inner earth, she is very tall. She is about 6'2" in my measurement here in the United States. And she is also a bit thinner. She glows, this blue glow that comes from inside her to the outside. All of the Anshar glow blue. Every single one of them, because they've absorbed so many of the rays of the central sun. And they're humans just like us, so they've come in many different colors and varieties and colors of eyes, colors of skin, types of hair. They're just like us. We're all varied, but each one of them does glow a little bit blue. And they are all very, very tall. And whenever she says that she is a little bit lighter, that is because of the way that gravity works in the inner earth, and that everything isn't so dense and tied down to the ground. So that does appear sometimes that they float. So I know a few times during channeling she has mentioned that whenever they run, they float. So it's very beautiful, and the Anshar speak in tones and frequencies, so their language is like a symphony of song. It's absolutely beautiful the way that they communicate with each other. So in the very beginning, whenever me and Anya are toning together, I know I am not musically talented, so my apologies for my toning sometimes, but I do the best that I can. But they do speak in tones and frequencies, so as the message is passed from her through me, as we are energetically aligned, she is pulling the language from what I know out of my mind. So sometimes there's a little bit of a pause, or I might feel like I flubbed up on a word a little bit. It's just because it's almost as if she's picking through the words in my mind to choose the right one. I know that sounds kind of silly, but that's the way it works for me. I know everyone's channeling experience is a little bit different, but for me and Anya, we have similar DNA, and when I received my Golden Rings of Light activation, my DNA was completely changed permanently so that it would align easier with hers for channeling, because we are existing here on the upper crust in this heavy, denser energy, and pollution and toxins in the air can be DNA disruptors. So I was changed and I was upgraded so that I could align with her DNA, and it is very important to me in my life that I continue to keep my vibration and my frequency very, very high, so that I can be perfectly aligned with hers and continue to bring these wonderful messages of advancement to all of you, to all of us on the earth, so that we can fulfill our mission of light, so that we can help heal the planet and help her in her ascension journey, as we are all on this journey together. And I think that Anya says it perfectly whenever she says that we are all moving into a new place in outer space. So let's all come along together. Let's all vibrate high, just as our planet is changing and vibrating high, and we all help heal the earth together. So this was a very personal message from me to you, my human galactic family, and it comes from my heart. 100%. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. I'm grateful for the Anshar. I'm grateful for the inner earth, and I'm grateful for the messages that they bring forth to us to help us advance along our journey, to help us activate and advance our DNA. Whenever Anya does journeys, which are also meditations for activation, I hope that you all are doing them too, and that you can at some point follow along with the journeys and the meditations that she offers, because each one of them provide us with DNA activations to help upgrade our physical body and our energetic body, so that as long as Mama Gaia keeps on ascending and raises her frequency, we raise our frequency along with her too. So I hope this message finds you happy and well. As my beloved twin sister always says, that is exactly where you are meant to be. And with all my love and gratitude, I say thank you and I love you. Thank you for resonating with me. Thank you for resonating with the Anshar. Thank you for having an open third eye to understand how our planet truly works and where we're going as a race, as a civilization of humans, from the inside and the outside, as everything comes together into balance and harmony. I send my love to you and all my gratitude. Thank you so much.